What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Matreiuss. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Mariano. The map is Gold Rush. I love this map. I love this matchup. I'm excited to see Matreiuss play this one because guess what? This matchup is tough for Poseidon. But the thing is that Matreiuss is Poseidon. And I'm excited to see if he can come up with something here that works against Oranos. I think there are so many super decision-based strategies that Poseidon can do. And the question is how do you make those decisions? So for example, if you play a one town center game as Poseidon against Oranos, you have to be able to go, when do I utilize my ceasefire, right, to get heroic age? Because that's actually that ceasefire timing is vitally important in the one town center game. Because it allows you to cut military for a minute to allow you to get, or allow you to delay fighting for a minute to allow you to get to that heroic age. So that's vitally important. Alternatively, going for a second town center here can be really, really strong. But then how do you manage to get yourself set up and get yourself a gold mine and all the other good stuff? Now, Matreiuss here on this map, he's got an absolutely godsend town center here. He's got himself 3 Aurochs. 6 Aurochs right on this town center. So Mariano is going to be wanting to put a stop to that as best as he possibly can. Now, unlike Hades, who's got what I would say a fairly safe ability to get a second town center up, it can be really, really tough for Oranos players to stop a second town center coming up if the Hades player has got a decent map. And can I've actually talked to Nullus a little bit about this, and he says basically if he can get his build order out perfectly, it is next to impossible to actually stop the second town center from coming up. And that's because of restoration. It's because you can put 10 villages plus on the town center, and Chiron, Ajax, Minotaur, very, very strong starting army to be able to get that town center up. And then after that, Sentinels comes down and everything's really good. But Poseidon doesn't have Sentinels. Poseidon doesn't have restoration, and Poseidon doesn't have Chiron. So it can be a lot tougher for the Poseidon player to get that town center up. Now, Poseidon does, though, have ceasefire, but do you really want to use ceasefire to get your second town center up? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how things go. As Mariano at this point, he does have himself the economic guild. He's going for it's kind of a standard 4:30 advance time, it seems here, as the temple coming up here as well. As Matreiuss at this point, he's getting himself out the Theseus, and it looks like he's going for what seems to me to be a 4:16 plus 9, so 4:25 advance time, and he has managed to hit that one basically perfectly here in this game. As the Theseus comes out and it can start picking up relics. The relics on the map are the Shingles of Steel. Do we see a relic picked up by anyone else? No, as the other relic is at the top side of the map there. Grugnir's Odin Spear. That's a great relic there for both players. Hoplites, you might not expect Poseidon to want to build too many hoplites in this matchup because he is the horse specialist of the Greek civs, but it turns out that just because you've got the bonus in the cavalry doesn't mean you should be moving away from the correct units, and Poseidon should be building some hoplites in this matchup most of the time, so it's a good relic there for him to grab as well. But we do see that Matreiuss is just going to grab Shingles of Steel and move back to his town center over here. And his plan is clear. And I think this build order here from Matreiuss is really, really good. I quite like 4:16 advance times with Greek. And getting the Theseus out before you advance or after you advance, that's a preference. Doesn't really matter what you do. I think you probably could argue that getting it later is better. And advancing at 4:16 because you start the town center 9 seconds earlier could be better, but this just plays very, very quietly around the defensive way to go for it. As we do see the town center now coming up, Matreiuss does delay himself his apology here, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. We see double barracks coming up here for Mariano at this point, as he wants to go full send on the Murmillo here. That's exciting. Haven't seen this happen very often against the Greeks. It will be allowing Matreiuss to go into units like the hoplite and the toxo'd here, something that he really won't want to do, but it will be the correct decision. The question is, has Matreiuss spotted it? He hasn't gone in. He hasn't scouted. He doesn't know what's happening from the side of Mariano. He's going to be working it out fairly quickly if he sees how many Murmillo are out, but we'll have to wait and see what happens as the Valor does come in. He's already got 3 Murmillo out. So town center is up, and what will be able to be happening here is Matreiuss drops down this stable here. I don't like that there's no walls set up by Matreiuss on this position either, but the stable is coming through, and no upgrades coming through here for Matreiuss just yet as well. One other thing here that is a difference between playing Hades and playing Poseidon is that Hades can actually delay military in this matchup. Because he's got sentinels, because he's got the stronger buildings and everything like that, you can delay the military and you can go for things like watchtowers, you can go for things like pickaxe, hand axe, husbandry, and all the other stuff that comes through where that's the case, and you can find an advantage like that as well. But we will be seeing that Matreiuss here, he might be losing this watchtower, which is a very, very big loss after all is said and done. But he does get himself some Murmillo here as well, as the units here getting taken down nicely. Matreiuss is picking off a lot of units here for free with his heroes. He does lose his sentry tower, but he does get himself a free militia for his efforts there, and he's picked off a bunch of units. So after all is said and done, is that really going to be enough there for Mariano to break through everything? As we do see an archery range now coming through, as Matreiuss has to know that Mariano is going mass infantry at this point in the game. And we do see that Matreiuss is making the correct assumption here that he needs to start making military academy and start making those hoplites after everything else is going. It's now the Murmillo swinging around. Hey, thank you for the 2 months, Smack Jack, for the Prime. Appreciate you that, my friend. Thank you for your continued support. That means a lot. Thanks for the kind words as well, as the villagers coming in onto this position. And Mariano helps with the killing of the Orok there. One thing that you can do, and you should be doing as Oranos in this matchup, and against Greek in general, is if your opponent's got these sorts of animals nice and close to the town center, you should be moving your Murmillo in to try and kill the animals out over here as fast as you can. Drag them out, but Matreiuss is going to be able to eat the vast majority of those, no problems here. As Mariano retreats back, and what's his next plan? It kind of looks like he's going for the heroic age here, which I don't mind in the slightest. One town center semi-fast heroic with a handful of Murmillo. Is this going to work or not for Mariano? As the wall's coming up, Matreiuss here, he's trying to pump out units as best as he can. He's got himself 38 villages. He's in a very, very big advantage in terms of the villages. The scout checking out everything over here as well, as the wall going to get broken down. Mariano's plan here basically needs to be off of one town center. He needs to somehow manage to get a gold starve. And that's going to take a while because he's not going to be able to gold starve anytime soon. There's still another 4,500 gold remaining in the main base before things start going into the middle of the map. And the other thing is that Matreiuss could start grabbing this middle gold mine early as well. So Mariano going to have to figure this one out as he does cast the Valor there onto his Murmillo as he's advancing to that next stage. Medium infantry coming through as well, as we see more military barracks coming in. And after all is said and done here, Mariano is skipping those Terma. They are sort of a waste in this matchup, so he's skipping the Terma, and we'll see what Matreiuss is going to do here. Matreiuss does have ceasefire, so we do see some walls coming up on this position here to defend for Matreiuss. He's just sitting in his base, playing nice and defensively here. This is exactly the game plan that the Greek players need to stick to. As Mariano pushes through the temple now under attack here. Picking off a temple is a dangerous thing. Poseidon gets a lot of militia out of the temple there as the army comes through, gets a little bit of damage done onto those infantry units. They're just going to be retreating away. They do move quite fast at 4.95 speed. Not quite fast enough to dodge the arrows, as we do see the chaos getting dropped down there. The centaur going to be getting cleaned up there as well. As Mariano here, he hasn't trained a single myth unit thus far, so he's got 50 favor to build himself satyr. And that's going to be a really, really big help for him in this game. The question is, where to next? If Matreiuss... Oh, sorry. If Mariano can get himself up a palace here, he can go straight into, like, destroyers. And that could be a really, really difficult thing for Matreiuss to deal with. Matreiuss at this point is cut military production for the time being as well. So he's wanting to get himself to the heroic age, which he will be able to do fairly fast. He's got his villagers over on these berries as well, eating the cows in the main base. He's got himself the hand axe, he's got himself the husbandry, and everything else here. As the gate going to be getting broken down, plow coming through for Mariano as well, as he's kind of finished up with all the hunt. Going to have to start farming fairly soon here as well. As the walls getting broken down. Matreiuss still does have that ceasefire. If he doesn't want to fight just yet and get himself to the heroic age, he can manage to make that work. As the Toxotes is getting some good damage done. Good shockwave there from Mariano, sending the Toxotes back and stunning them a little bit. As Matreiuss here, trying to just get himself into a position where his Toxotes aren't taking damage. It's got to be the best way to play. As the Hippolyta and the Theseus trying to get onto that satyr, but just not able to do so. As Matreiuss taking this fight, I'm not sure he needs to be. Aphrodite has been clicked up. He can click ceasefire here if he so chooses. At any point in this game, ceasefire is going to be an option. Maybe another wall getting put back up over here to defend on that position wouldn't go astray for Matreiuss either. As the satyr is still getting chased around, all the heroes are dead, and the army of Matreiuss has been completely cleaned up. This is exactly what Mariano was looking for, and Matreiuss played right into it. He could have sat in his base, played much more defensively here. And now definitely Mariano needs to think about town centers and palaces here to start controlling the center of the map. As the village is retreating back off of this gold mine. There's only 200 gold left in it, so it's not that big of a deal. Stables getting taken down does effectively mean that there's going to be militia coming out here for Matreiuss to help himself out. Another temple coming up on this position just in case, as the units are starting to come through for Matreiuss. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. Not a whole lot of gold here. Does he have himself that pickaxe yet? Yes, he does. Could think about getting shaft mine, but maybe saving those resources for the Hippolyta and something else wouldn't go astray, as the favor needs to start coming through here for Matreiuss. He does have a handful of villagers on the temple here, as the temple will get taken out, but the Nemean lion does come through. It's going to be a while until the chaos is back up to take that Nemean lion out. Now we started to see the immediate Hippaspis coming through, another archery range coming in. Those militia coming through are so vitally important for Matreiuss. They do only cost the one population as well, so it's a huge boost to the army. There's some houses coming down. If Matreiuss can keep those militia alive here and like dive into the tower here, which he does manage to do, keep those alive, it helps boost that economy or that army even more, because it's only 50 wood to rebuild the houses, and the militia, they're technically worth somewhere in the vicinity of 70 resources. As the militia pop out here, Curse getting dropped down, the Nemean lion coming through to get a big amount of splash damage on this army. Matreiuss says it's time to go, as the army getting caught out of position. That satyr will be getting cleaned up here. Second town center is on the way now for Mariano after all is said and done, as Matreiuss, he's gotten plenty of resources in the bank, and to me it looks like Matreiuss's plan here is to simply just go to the Mythic Age behind all of this, as another military barracks coming up. Mariano still getting chased, but maybe Matreiuss here needs to say, I need to go Mythic Age and pull back. He's pulling his army and he's not paying attention, taking a huge amount of damage. He decides to turn around. A big mistake. He does have a little bit of speed walking that he can do to pull back at this point, as the Hippocon moving up to the top side of the map looks like they're going to be too slow to getting that top town center denied. There's a little bit of a fight still continuing here by those militia. The Hippaspis is going to get a decent amount of damage done in this fight, as well as the Nemean lion can start pushing through onto the Arcus there. But Matreiuss says, no, not today. Going to go Mythic Age here. He's getting his market set up as well. The question is, does he go Artemis, or does he go for the safer Hephaestus? We have seen Matreiuss going Artemis and failing against Atlantean in prior tournaments here with Poseidon. He is picking the Artemis. How much gold has he got left? 600 gold, and he does have ceasefire. As the unit's retreating back, Mariano is spending all of his resources trying to stay alive here, as the gold mine will be expiring. He's got around about 500 gold left. And he's going to have to get that gold mine in the middle of a map fairly soon. But Matreiuss, he's got himself 130 population. So it's not like he's he doesn't really have any problems here taking this fight. He just wants to wait it out. And I do think that ceasefire, get the gold mine, get your upgrades, utilize the earthquake is going to be the right play here for Matreiuss. He doesn't need to take this fight all too early here. Now, Mariano getting himself that third town center as well. As the Hippocon kind of running forward. Looks like Matreiuss wants to trade those off for something here. The other thing that's going to happen is that Chaos is going to be available. And now it's going to be a 50% chance to hit the Nemean line or hit the Chimera. But it's going to be utilized nonetheless. Matreiuss waiting it out here for the time being. The Chaos does get utilized there. Matreiuss is going to be happy about that one because it means he's going to have his Chimera to help out in these fights moving forward as the gold finishes up over there. Plenty of gold and wood to potentially drop a fortress down as well on this position. If Matreiuss wants to sneak out here and drop a fortress down, that'll be an absolutely huge move for him. As he's waiting as much as he can. He doesn't have any units in position to drop an immediate earthquake down onto anything here, it seems. And there's the fortress getting dropped. The units pushing forward here. The Chimera going to be moving through. There's 24 favor in the bank here for Matreiuss. As the shockwave coming down, Matreiuss going to be pulling back here for the time being. Still has a little bit of gold remaining as he wants that fortress to come up. He hasn't sent any villagers forward just yet. As the Chimera dodging arrow fire here nicely as the Toxotes and the Hypaspis getting some good damage done over here. As the not the Toxotes, well, yes. And now, but as the Arcus now going to refocus, and the Chimera comes in. Look at the damage that comes through onto those Arcus. It's so extremely, ridiculously strong. As the Mamilo getting cleaned up here. Matreiuss pushing out. He has used a little bit of trade here, it seems, as now the villagers are going to push onto the fortress, taking his time to get out onto that position as the Chimera is going to try and stick to these these Arcus here. As the spread formation does get utilized. The units moving forward, but the spread formation only does so much there as a couple more units getting taken out. The fortress going to be coming up at this point in the game. Mariano is at 120 population of 160 population here as well. But it looks like with this amount of villagers, the fortress will be up. The villagers will be able to grab this gold mine here. The Toxotes with the Chimera support should be able to hold on this position as another fortress is coming down for Matreiuss as he wants to start making those incredibly strong Heliopoli here in this game. That's going to be a difficult thing for Matreiuss, for Mariano to deal with. As the units here have to retreat for Mariano. He needs to get back into his army. He's only got himself 20 citizen, where normally you'd see 26, 27, 28 citizen out. And that's because, obviously, he's gone one town center for semi-fast heroic, and he's only had his 3 town centers for a little bit. But now Toxotes, Heliopolis, it's going to be so strong. This is such a strong composition to utilize against the Mariano army. Mariano basically needs to go into mass Contarius here. And he's just floating all of this gold that he's not going to be able to use on anything useful here. He doesn't have, he doesn't have anything to spend it on. He doesn't have that Thea with the Hesperid's tree to spend those resources on. As the earthquake does get dropped now in this position, will it be able to kill off the fortified town center? Yes, it does. And now Matreiuss' next plan here in this game is going to be simple. Push forward, get the gold star. There's a little bit of gold left in the main base here for Mariano. I like that he's left that there and moved forward. But the army of Matreiuss is so strong. He's going to push in, take out palace, take out villages, take out town centers. He can also move over and try and grab this town center as well. Mariano does have the Oracle in position to check that all out there. As the Apollo able to take out one of those Satyr there, but she will be getting taken out very, very quickly after all is said and done. Doesn't quite manage to finish off the Satyr as the Heliopolis sitting in on this position right behind the Arcus, but nice move forward there by Mariano to start focus firing these units. But the thing is, if the Toxotes are in range of the Mariano Arcus, the Toxotes win. And at 17 minutes here into this game, Mariano does decide to tap out. A little bit of a surprising tap out there considering it's game point, but Mariano just feeling like he's got nothing remaining here. His technological upgrades are incredibly far behind here in this game. His decision to go for a semi-fast heroic into Arcus Murmillo just did not cut it here in this game. Matreiuss played it way too well on the defensive sides of things. He didn't even need to utilize that ceasefire to find himself an advantage here. He still has that remaining. So the thing is, the game plan here from Mariano just did not quite make enough sense here. The thing is, if maybe Mariano went for like a fast 3-town center here, and then went for like a mythic age timing where Matreiuss would be wanting to move forward onto that gold mine here. If he went for that, there's a world where Matreiuss gets gold starved here, but he goes for this kind of semi-fast heroic strategy, which might work on, say, like a map like, I don't know, maybe like Frozen Wastes or something, but just doesn't quite end up functioning how he wanted it to function. And Matreiuss gets the win, wins in 4 games. Congratulations to Matreiuss, going on to the semi-finals. Better luck next season for Mariano. Fantastic series. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.